Hey, Nir, it's a pleasure to have you here again. It's been a while since we last spoke, but it always feels great to have you here. Let me start, with a very simple question, if I may. Again, I know that your role and responsibilities are quite unique compared to the traditional CSM space, as we mentioned before. But we actually, before we actually delve into the specific bits and bytes of what your team is doing, can you please share a little bit more about yourself and what is Binah?
Yeah, of course. So Binah is a medical software company, and we are actually taking measurement from any device, mobile device, on everyone that have it. It can be Android or iOS, and we are taking measurement and collecting vital signs after you are taking a video in front of the camera of the device. So the last thing that we just released was the blood pressure. It's like amazing thing, just think about it, that you can take a measurement and see your blood pressure just by looking on your camera on your mobile device. So it's look like a rocket science, but it actually happened and it's actually work. And this is what Binah is doing.
I guess, I assume that probably because of Corona, the businesses were doing very great. Corona probably served as an accelerator to your business, emphasizing the importance of, having technology in order to measure patients or, collecting data when, physical connection is not feasible.
Yeah, not to be very honest, I think it's not just the COVID. Right now, there's three major segments that really interesting in Binah. It's the first one is insurance company. You just think that you are taking like a private insurance, and they ask you, to take to fill in, like a paper and write down that you are not sick or something like that. Right now, insurance company ask you, to take another test, like with Binah, just for 1 minute, take this test and let's see if you really feel okay or not. The second segment is about, health, wellness. There's a lot of things that a lot of companies that are interesting about, wellness, and to see what is your stress, and maybe advise you, to take a yoga lesson, or just walk on the sea, on the beach, near the sea, and just to see what is your stress during the day. And the third segment is telemedicine. This is really relevant to COVID, and telemedicine become really a major segment in the last few months and even years.
This is absolutely amazing. I've been spending some time, researching that specific category or space, and I think that technology has made huge progress over the last 2 years. So from a personal point of view, I find this conversation extremely interesting. And the more we speak, the more I learn about Binah and your specific technology. But let's focus for a few minutes on basically the reason we are here today to speak about customer success in the absence of engagement data. So as we all know, in order to measure success from a customer success point of view, we need to track usage, engagement, basically how customers are utilizing our product, software. And as far as I understand, with SDK, and probably will elaborate on that, what is SDK, there's a huge challenge here. Can you help us to understand how you collect such information in those situations where technology is not actually available?
Yeah, so the quick answer is that we are limited in a sense that by the nature of an SDK, like a black box, we don't collect customer usage information. We can see how many activation or measurement are taken in general, but with zero personal information. But we use this limitation to our advantage from the InfoSec, information security perspective. And the most important thing that we keep our finger almost glued on the pulse of our customers as they begin to develop and launch their incredible innovations with Binah. So again, there is a challenge over here, but we see it as an advantage, and we use it as an advantage of Binah on other competitors. Right.
So I guess you put the emphasis on other areas in order to basically do what we're supposed to do, which is, to gain trust, gain credibility, become a trusted advisor. And I see it, from where I am, where I stand, I see it as a more challenging environment. It's harder to accomplish those milestones and KPIs that we're supposed to go after.
Right. So the magic question should be how we do it.
Yeah,
like how
exactly.
we collecting it's like how we collecting data if there's no data, unless the metadata. But let's say that there's no data, how you are actually understand what your customer is doing. So it's the one word that I will probably going to repeat this interview or this conversation, of course, not interview, it's like proactive. We are proactive, high touch customer success team. Even though we are automate as much as possible with some products, we don't automate customer success, okay? We speak regularly with our customers, we meet them face-to-face or on Zoom, and we try to be like, I would say it like that, we try to be like a good waiter at a fancy restaurant coming to fill up their water glasses even before they realize they need a refill. And it's a little bit funny, but if you just think about it, we are trying to be very, very close to our customers, not by collecting data and do some analysis on that, just to listen to them, talk with them, to hear what they're feeling, what are the end user are doing, and according to that, to take the right decision.
I clearly remember our last conversation. I think one of our first conversations, I think you mentioned that you actually established, the CSM at Binah from the ground up, from scratch. And when you reached out to the first customer and introduced yourself as, as the leader of the customer success, they were, I don't know if to say like in shock would be the right phrase or not, but they looked at you like, like an alien. I mean, they were not used to a customer success talking to them. Am I correct, or did I get it?
Yeah. Just think that. With the CEO of Binah just asked me, to take charge and build the customer success. It was just the support before me. It was a support team, and right now I just started to introduce myself in front of the customer, and they said in the beginning, "Why do we need you?" Again, we have the SDK of Binah. We have the support.
Your support.
Exactly. We have the account manager or so, and we close the deal with him. What is your position? What are you going to do with us? And are you going to be with me between us and the sales? Are you going to be between us and the support? What is exactly your role? And some of them even afraid, because they close a few deals, commercial deals or with the sales. And right now it's coming customer success manager and say them, okay, let me take charge on these deals. Let me look on these deals. Let me measure these deals or and other things. And a few of them a little bit, opened their eyes and started to ask questions. I think right now, almost a year after, they realize that the customer success it's very, very important role and position in the company. And they see the benefit if they want to talk with product, if they want to talk with R&D, if they want to talk, even with support, escalation, information that they need, etc. They understand that there is one focal point in Binah that will be there for them and will help them. So it was like a process, and we said that it's very important. We said that we are running a marathon with our customers. It's not 100 meter. We're running a marathon with them, and I'm looking at myself as like a marathon trainer. So we need to tell them when to speed up and when to keep on the rhythm, and when to take like a water or a gel, an energy gel. So we are actually like running marathon with them. and to a long term. So it's very, very important to explain that also, because Binah, or the solution that Binah is offered, it's called SDK. It's not like a very 100 meter a race. It's a long one. It's a marathon. It takes step by step. They need to develop the integration. They do integration with our SDK to their app. They need to launch the app. They need to find to do like a research marketing to find the right people to start with this. With this app and adopt this application and this solution. It will take time, and we need to be with a lot of patience with it, and to hold their hands, this all during this marathon.
Going back to day one, when you sat down and you started to draw your schemes and ideas how to establish a CS from the ground up, did you have to draw the line and design rules of engagement with the existing support team? Like, guys, you were doing okay so far. We're here to establish a new function called CS. We have our goals, and things are going to look a little bit different. And we're going to take these responsibilities upon ourselves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So could you go back like to day one and maybe share a little bit about those moments or plans, like how you divided the responsibilities between support and CS, putting the customer, on stage and seeing things through the customer's eyes. Now they have to deal with both teams, support and CS. And so far they dealt only with support. So things are going to look different from a customer point of view. So how exactly did you manage that?
Wow, it's a long question.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's long questions.
Hopefully my answer will be as long as your answer, as long as the question. So let me start. I think when I came to Binah, the first thing that I did is to learn the environment, to learn the infrastructure of Binah. And I start with learning which tools they have right now in Binah. I started with interview the customers. I didn't touch anything. I didn't change anything. I just learned from the customers what is the status right now, what they are missing. Ask them questions, and start to understand what are the tools that Binah have for support and for customer success. So for the support, they have the classic support tool, Zendesk. Mm-hmm. But other than that, what was nothing. Okay, there was no tool that is really dedicated to customer success. And the first thing that I did is to talking with my head of support and all the management on the company about customer-centric company. What does it mean? What we are going to do? What is the vision? How I see the things, how do I see what is my vision? How I see the things? And then when I get the agreement of them about it, what is about the customer-centric company, then I started, to talk about responsibilities of, let's say, support and responsibilities of customer success. In general, support is more technical, and customer success have 2 or 3 major rules. The first one is to make the customer satisfied from the product, from the company, and from all the other positions, in the company. It can be R&D, can be product, even the sales, the account manager. The second rule of customer success, it will be like expansion, business, commercial. And the third thing should be like talking with him about technology, not technical, but technology, about the roadmap. What is the roadmap? Feature, new feature. What are you using? What is not using? Why to use this feature, not that feature? What is the best thing for him? How we can expand his usage. And the support, I want him to be more proactive in a technical, way, taking all the technical sides, on the customer, even do a pre-sale if it's necessary. And it was great because me and my head of support, we were very aligned on this, on the same page, and we agree. I think I can see, let's say, 90% of the things, like 95% of the things. So it was more clear for me how to do it.
Sounds very easy to establish, I guess, but it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. I can, I'm telling it like in 3-4 minutes, but it took like 6 months, to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Before you actually start, building something, there is a process, there is an existing process or existing processes, and people, have their habits, how to communicate, on what cadence to communicate with the customer, what information do we collect, how do we reply back, etc. And then suddenly someone comes in and says, guys, something has to change. Let's change it.
Exactly. Let's do things in a different way. Again, I think, from my opinion, the key over here is to explain your colleagues what is your goal, what is your vision, and you are coming to help them and the company, to grow. And again, my experience right now with Binah.ai, that it was like they hear me, they listen to me, and they agree with me. So again, it took time. In the end, it was not very easy. It was a challenge. There was challenges, during the way, but I think we are on a good spot right now.
I totally agree, and I want to take this opportunity and share my experience as well. When you have a situation where you have two teams, support and customer success, and both need to communicate, with the same customer, and sometimes, there might be some collisions, or you might embark on similar projects simultaneously. So for example, like, measuring success. How do you measure success? How do you measure failures? How do you identify areas that might need improvement? You got both support and CS, and both are basically they're interacting with the customer, so they see things sometimes through different lenses. So one way of establishing, a good cooperation between the two teams is to embark on a single project, like, measuring success. You can have, like, the support team to focus on what success look like from like cases point of view. How many cases do we have with an existing customer, or like benchmark, creating a benchmark? And what does success look like from cases point of view? Severity, how many open cases do we have? How many customers we have with, a specific level of support tickets whatsoever? And then you come up with the score, and then, that support score can basically be used or utilized by the customer success as part of the help score, and vice versa. So both teams basically see different perspective of what success look like, but they actually contribute one to another.
I totally agree. Two things that I want to say. First of all, just, it's very, very important you said, because the support score should be part of the health score of the customer, okay? Or it should be like a part of the customer success score, the support score. So this is one thing that I want to say. The second thing that I will ask you just one question. If a customer open 10 tickets or 20 tickets every month, from the support point of view, it can be like really good, but does it mean that on a customer success point of view it is the same? Maybe not. Maybe he opened out of tickets because he's not happy. He's not know how to work with the product. Maybe you need to do like a training. So the amount of tickets for support is not the same parameter to customer success. And this is just one example.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that, because I've seen cases where sometimes, some leaders tend to merge these two areas together, and then you have different weights or different contribution of each parameter to the final outcome, which is the score. So you might have like many cases affecting or creating a negative impact on the final score. And you might have a very successful, account or customer, but those SLA issues affect the final score. It might actually change your call to action from a CS point of view. So it's like driving, a car. You get into your car, you start the engine, and you start driving your car, and then look at multiple gauges. You look at multiple needles, engine temperature, level of oil, of course, the speed of the car, etc. So from a driver's point of view, you're looking at multiple, gauges and needles. You're not making a decision based on one specific gauge or needle. As far as I'm concerned, it's a very good analogy because, the CS is the driver. He's driving, a car, basically managing an account. And in order to successfully manage an account, you really need to see things through multiple, perspectives or lenses.
Right. So, you can have like an independent customer that will not need the help of the support. He will read all the documentation on the website. He will be very smart. He will not even open one ticket. From the support will say that there's a problem. The score on the support side will be very low, but from you as a customer success, it's great because the customer is independent. He do his training. He's working by himself. Without any help.
Let's talk about CS KPIs and goals. How do you compensate the team of CSMs when you have happy moments or milestones or any other achievements that the team is supposed to accomplish? And you don't have that data. I'm focusing on your specific use case. It's kind of hard to track success when you run a marathon. Like it takes a year sometimes to measure one specific success with one specific customer. Again, KPIs, goals, indicators, what exactly are you using in order to measure success?
So it's a little bit different, as I said, from other classic SaaS companies. And we try to, our KPIs is to try to see or to try to understand how fast the customer will launch his app. Okay, so let's start with the onboarding. It's a little bit different, the onboarding. We can do like a introduction meeting with them. And after that, we can send them, the email, with the links, to all the platforms. And then he can say to us, I don't even need a follow-up meeting. I'm okay, I get access to your support website, to your license server, to your share file, download the SDK. I have a great developers. Why do I need you? And right now there's a problem. Yeah, there's a problem. My customer success team say to me, how you measure us? Okay, what are the KPIs right now? And the KPI is to try not measure by NRR or any other maybe KPI that everyone knows. It's more than to understand in every single point what is the status of the customer. How is the project? What is the status for the project? Did he started the integration or the dev environment? How is it going? It's going away. Okay. How many tickets he have? If there is a showstopper over there, what is the timeline to move to production? When he's going to launch his app? Does the customer have use cases? He bought a black box. He bought SDK. He loved the technology of Binah. Does he know what to do with it? No, some customer bought the technology, but they don't know even what is the use case. So it's very important to us to, the KPI will be to know the customer. And know the customer by know what are his use cases.
And goals.
Exactly. And what is goals? What he want to achieve with Binah. What his target? Do you want more adoption on his app? Does he want to give his end user maybe the option to go to yoga lessons because they have a lot of stress? Maybe the insurance company want to limit or keep the risk of their insurance. It's a different use cases. So the KPI will be learn and know your customer and his goals. It's a little bit different, from all the KPIs that you're already familiar with them.
And if I understood correctly, you measure project management skills sometimes, because it takes a lot of effort internally to manage a few teams on your side in order to meet those customer goals.
Right. So yeah, I think one of the things very, very important to me is to be like is to help your customer go forward. To push him in the right way, of course. Yeah, to push him and to help him to achieve his goals. And it's mean, as you said, to be on the timelines. If there is a showstopper, to help him, to be creative. Okay, suggesting workarounds, and contribute the right people in the company to the success of the customer. So it's very, very important, the communication that you have, or your skills of communication that you have with your customer. But I can say you that the skills of your communication internally is important in the same way, and sometimes even more. Right.
Let's actually spend a few minutes talking about, what is a CSM from structure point of view. We all know that CSM has the function itself has evolved from traditional support, and today there are three main core departments or functionalities under the the CSM umbrella. Implementation, CSM and account manager. I recently read an article based on market research by Viola, and the article states that 48% of SaaS businesses employ both technical and business-oriented teams within that customer success umbrella. And for obvious reasons, since we're talking today on a use case that is a bit different from the traditional SaaS, I'm very curious to learn, given the information that you have shared with us so far, what is your CSM structure? How does it operate in that specific use case in order to meet those goals? No data is available, etc. Like, do you have specific teams, or one team does it all?
So it's a great question. Again, I can talk about Binah in my point of view. I believe that in high touch customer success, or as I said before, we are a super proactive customer success team. We are doing everything except support. It means that we are not talking or not touching the technical, but we are doing the implementation, we are doing the customer success, and we are doing the account manager after that.
Expansion.
So exactly, the expansion and the exactly. So we're doing all this free after one umbrella, and I think it's really important for me that one person will see the customer from the onboarding until he will be able, to do the expansion. And it will be with him, during the whole marathon, and not just see him, on the finish line. So this time, I'm as I see it.
And that basically reduces the need for a handoff between the teams, because it's one team.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You're right. The only handoff that you need, it's from sales to customer success, and also that it's something that I'm working on it. It's not working perfect, as every company has this problem. I try to do it, or I try to do the handoff more automatic, by that all the data on the customer will be on Salesforce, by like mandatory fields on Salesforce. And in this way, once I get the email from the finance department that this customer, there's a new customer, I'm actually don't need the salesperson anymore. I have all the data on Salesforce. I can take it, collect data to understand what is the use case, if there was what is the deal, who's the customer, what are the challenges. Of course, if I need to do another session with the salesperson, of course, we will do it. But I'm trying that the customer success team will be more independent when they're starting the onboarding and not depend on the time or resource of the sales people.
I can't emphasize enough, how important it is to establish, the process that would allow, the transitioning of the data between one team and another, and an effective consumption of data. Because some people just, type in whatever data they have, whatever data they remembered from their last call with the prospect or customer, and then the other person in line, just can't make any conclusion from that data because it doesn't make any sense. And then you go back to the first step, or step number one, which is, okay, I'm gonna, spend some time with that guy, and then you just waste time as before, so the process doesn't make any sense at all. This has been a very, productive and enjoyable conversation, and we're running out of time, but I do want to ask one final question, just to wrap up our conversation today. Any final words of wisdom for those who are about to embark on a similar situation?
Yeah, I try to answer it from a different angle. I will tell you what I'm looking, when I hire or when I recruit a customer success to Binah. And maybe from this answer, you will understand again, what are the things that I can suggest, or maybe, share, about this kind of customer success manager in Binah. So I will talk about what are the strengths that should be for a customer success when he interview or we are looking at Binah. So first of all, it need to be, like as I said, it need to be with a human relations. He should be with a lot of patience, creativity. It's very important, and proactiveness. And as we said before, it needs to be like a person of people and technologist. And these are the things that I'm looking for in customer success manager. And that's it.
I think, I just have to, park here a little bit, just a few more seconds on, based on the answer you just provided, because I've heard before, I'm asking this question like many times, like every time I'm meeting someone, I'm basically asking like, final recommendations, any tips and ideas, whatever. What are the skills required in order to assume a CS role, whatever. And I always hear like, proactive mindset, communication skills and patience, but creativity, this is unique. And, I'm just curious, maybe we can park that for the next session or next conversation, but you got my attention here, creativity, because I definitely agree. I think it's important for every role. Look for those people that stand out. You really want to pick the right person for the job. And I think that creativity is a sign of intelligence and, agility. And you definitely need that. You need an agile person with a lot of patience and, of course, communication skills. That's why, sometimes, they say that CS or CSM is a Superman. It's very hard to find the right candidate for the job. I agree.
You're right. You're right. So yeah, you're right. So creativity is very important. If the customer is not communicate with you, let's try another way. Let's find another way to communicate with him. Let's find another way to collect data. So yeah, it's very, very important. And maybe we'll on the next session we can talk also about it. Yeah, we can start from there.
Creativity in the CS space.
Exactly. Great title,
Great title, yeah. Nir, it's been a pleasure as always.
Really thank you very much, Avner. Thank you very much, Avner. Thank you very much.